we are setting up for a shrinkage. With China is going there, Japan is going there. And so we're going to need productivity to help us if we can't find human beings.
Okay, so you're saying that the robotics and AI can actually fill the gap that we lose in terms of productivity, because our society is going to be like an inverted pyramid. It's going to be more elderly people and less young people.
Yes.
So the robots are going to...
Yes, absolutely. Productivity is going to be essential. So as we're looking at real growth ahead, and when you think about real growth, you should be thinking, okay, somebody's benefiting from this. And I'm going to set up the number here by describing what has happened historically. If you look from 1500 to 1900, and you try and figure out what real GDP growth was back then, real economic growth, as best as Brett Winton, our chief futurist, in consultation with academics, can determine, it was roughly 0.6% per year. And then we had the Industrial Revolution. We had the internal combustion engine, telephone, electricity. And for the past 125 years, real GDP growth has been 3%. And most living standards have gone up over time. Some more than others, I know that's a debate, but most have gone up. As we look forward, based on the 5 innovation platforms around which we have centered our research and investing, if we're right, real GDP growth in the next 5 years could accelerate to 7.3%. And that gives you a sense of the economic activity, wealth generation out there. And when we are presenting to investors, we are actually presenting to them not only because they're investors, but because they have children or grandchildren who need to adapt to this new world. And our mantra in giving away our research, which we do, is get on the right side of change. We also do podcasts. We do a lot of outreach because we think this is a very important moment in time. Seize the moment, grab hold of these new technologies, because that growth rate is more than twice where we've been. And if you are on the right side of change, we think the opportunities are going to be enormous. Investment opportunities and job opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like I can't figure out how the displacement rate meets the creation rate. So the destruction rate of current jobs will meet the creation rate of new jobs, because many of these new jobs, I guess there's some of them we can't predict yet. I understand that. But even the ones that we can't predict yet would need to be inherently human, i.e. need the skills of a human for them to be occupied by humans. So what category of stuff is that? Like my girlfriend's a breathwork practitioner. She's upstairs now with 10 women and she's teaching them breathwork.
Okay.
So she's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because they're doing that in person, whatever. She's fine.
Well, and maybe she's not if people decide
to do it on ChatGPT.
Yeah, on ChatGPT. But if they want to be with a group of women,
yeah,
and learn from an expert whom they respect, there's as much the social experience that's going to become more important. Relationships are going to become more important. Many people in our business, I think, are going to be out of jobs because the business has become really nothing. I shouldn't be this disrespectful, and it's not quite right, but at all. But so many are just hugging benchmarks, whether it's S&P 500 or MSCI World or the NASDAQ, that a machine can do that. A machine can do that easily. And that is what passive investing is machines doing it. I think in order to earn a place in the new world, you've got to add a lot of value, more value than a machine can. So in our case, we're saying, okay, well, our stocks are not in those benchmarks. And therefore, we are doing original research, trying to figure out who they are and where they are, these companies that are going to transform the world.
Why can't AI replace what you're doing in terms of...
So, and we think about that all the time. So AI can use pattern recognition. It's all based on history, right? It can use pattern recognition, maybe, to do what we're doing. What are the three characteristics that define an innovation platform for us? The most important one is they follow something called Wright's law, which measures the learning curve, how fast the costs are going to decline with this new technology. Technology is deflationary. Costs fall over time, and they're passed through into lower prices or better performance, one or the other. That is the most important. A machine can figure that out, I'm sure. But asking the questions are going to be important. Like, there wasn't, before 2014 when we started ARC, much on autonomous mobility or eVTOLs, or for that matter, AI. AI had become science fiction. There weren't any breakthroughs in recent years. But then we got some breakthroughs. So Wright's law is the first, figure out that cost curve decline and see how quickly the technology can proliferate across sectors. That's the other criterion here. The technologies that we are following are going to cut across economic sectors and apply to more than one group of people. And then the third is that these technologies serve as launching pads for new technologies. So in the case of DNA sequencing, which was the base technology, we needed that before CRISPR gene editing could be created. We needed to be able to understand what was mutating in the genome, where the programming errors were, so that gene editing could come in and edit out those programming errors.
And do you think in 5-10 years from now that unemployment is going to be higher or lower?
In 5 or 10 years, let's assume we don't have a policy mistake and a recession, so just steady state. I think it will be the same or lower. And most of this is because those baby boomers are retiring.
So they come out of the employment.
They come out of the labor force, and the generations following them are smaller. Even now, what's happening is we're passing through the baby boom echo, meaning the children of the baby boom. That cohort was, I don't think it was any bigger than the baby boom population.
Do you think there's, because of the speed of and the acceleration of AI, the length of careers has radically reduced? Because you would go to school, then you go to university, you qualify as, I don't know, an accountant, and that's like a 10, 15-year process. You get a job as an accountant, you start working your way up. But now with AI coming in, some of these jobs are being completely annihilated extremely quickly.
At the same time, vibe coding is booming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's going to happen, and this will be very healthy for productivity, we're going to have a lot more experimentation and people taking risks on themselves. And maybe this idea of a corporation as we know it is going to change radically. You know, crypto is enabling distributed autonomous organizations. Just like Bitcoin, there's no one governing it, right? It's a distributed network. And, you know, let's see how these do and how vibe coding and AI integrate into the crypto, and I'm going to stop calling it crypto because it really should be called digital assets world, which legitimizes it more. Crypto sounds nefarious.
Yeah.
Digital assets is where more than young people, and I'll say young people are spending more than half of their discretionary, their free time online. And so property ownership online is becoming more important.